and I'm here to present to you today about my internship, physical therapy, and kind of where my future plans to go. But first, let me ask you a question. Who here has heard of this song, Head, Shoulders, Knees, and Toes? It's a little kid's song to help memorize the body parts? Okay. Well, it turns out actually that the head, shoulders, knees, and toes are most commonly found to be injured in physical therapy, so you have to deal with these body parts more often. So how physical therapy kind of got started was it started with World War I, World War II, and then also the polio epidemic. All right, but mainly it started with World War I and World War II when the soldiers had issues and injuries and they needed to be strengthened. And so they had to figure out a way to help heal these veterans. And so they brought on the idea of, hey, we can have someone who can physically help them. So they had physical therapists come in and help all of the veterans. And I had my internship at Carr's Physical Therapy. It's on Republic Road. It's owned by Corey Carr. And before my internship, I was kind of thinking, you know, I won't be able to do anything. I'll probably just have to sit there and stare and take notes and watch. Just kind of the typical intern thing, right? But that was actually what did not happen. I had the complete opposite. I was actually able to help with patients. I was able to interact with them. I learned how to do billing, I learned how insurances work, and I also learned a very valuable thing, and that was intern advice. And I was very lucky to work with Corey Carr because he usually only accepts seniors in college, and accepting a senior in high school at a physical therapist's office is very rare. And these are some pictures from my internship, and actually the kid on the left, he's a Kickapoo alumni, and Corey taught me a lot of things within the short amount of time that I was at Carr's Physical Therapy. And there's actually a pretty long process to hook a patient up to the eSIM machine and the cryo cuff, and he taught me how to interact with the patient and tell them what they'll be feeling, what they'll be stimulating whenever you hook them up to this machine. And also, the little Dixie cups that are in the middle picture, we use those for ice massages to help cool the muscle and relax them before we start treatment. And in between patients, we do clean. So I didn't know that, but we do clean. And also, these are more pictures of his office and his facility. And it actually took me quite a long time to get all the machinery down. And I had to play with them a lot in between patients because you think, oh, it's just an elliptical machine, and then you press the wrong button and you gotta start over. So that took a long time. And then also, so a lot of the things that I have learned were the machines, like this one. This is the eSIM machine. That's what the Kickapoo alumni was hooked up to. And I learned some filing and billing, which I really wanted to know how a small business physical therapist office worked, because that's what I am striving for. And another thing that I didn't realize at first was how hard it was to create workouts. Because creating workouts, you want to push the patient to where they gain strength, but not too far because you don't want them to experience pain. So actually being able to create workouts was rather difficult. And then I think the most valuable part of being a physical therapist is making those connections with your patients and talking to them, because everyone has a different story and everyone has a different experience. And if I can be able to be a part of a patient's healing process, that is just an extremely rewarding part for me. And then also, learning the tips from the college interns was very valuable, because there was a college intern and I was talking to her and she said, hey, do you want some tips for college? I'm like, well, yeah. And so she was telling me how, what majors I should pick. And I was like, well, I don't really know. Is it not physical therapy? She's like, no. And she was telling me about how she did cellular and molecular biology, and it's still, those of you who don't know, that's pre-med. So she took a pre-med major for a physical therapist, and she did a lot more work than she needed to. So she gave me some ideas for majors that I could do. So those are just some of the tips that the college interns gave me. And the education requirements of a physical therapist require you to have 4 years of your undergrad and then 3 years of year-round PT school. And all states require you to have a license. And some similar job opportunities would be maybe an occupational therapist or a PT assistant in case if I decide to change my mind. And then the future outlook for physical therapy is very promising. It's at a 36% growth rate, and this is because of the baby boomers are now retiring, and some want to stay active into their retirement. So you have a lot of those people, because it's baby boomers, lots of people, and they want to stay active into their older age. And also the average salary for a physical therapist yearly is $80,000, so which is very good. All right, so I performed an interview with Britt Doss, who is a Cox physical therapist over at Cox Outpatient Therapy, and I asked him some questions, and he told me, I asked him, what is probably the hardest thing to learn in physical therapy? Like, what was your biggest barrier? And he said that it was probably boredom. And I could see that because in a hospital you can't really specialize. And if you own your own business, however, you can specialize in anything you want. It's all open. And I also do agree with him whenever I asked him some questions. He said that it was very important for skills and qualities to be able to problem solve and to be able to listen to the patient and extract information. But I really think at the core, it's very important to be passionate about what you do. All right, so future outcomes for me. I could, as a physical therapist, I could work at a hospital, or I could own my own business. Now, I like the idea more of owning my own business because I feel like I can get more of a connection with my patients, and I'd be able to make my own choices, so I can also be my own boss, and I like being my own boss. I don't really like having a boss. And then I can also specialize and be more passionate and give patients more valuable information and be able to help them more. All right, so all of this came from this wonderful program that we have at Kickapoo, and it's called Kickapoo University. You've all heard about it tonight, and I just want to say thank you to all of the Kickapoo staff. It truly has been an amazing part of my high school career. It has really kept me engaged, and I have learned so much just from those 7 weeks of interning, and I would not have learned that inside of a classroom. And some service learning that a physical therapist could do would be volunteering at the VA, volunteering at the Special Olympics, or being a health volunteer overseas, but I would personally choose volunteering at the VA because all the men in my family have served, so I feel more of a connection with that. And then for my future plans, I plan to graduate from Kickapoo, attend MSU and major in exercise and movement science and minor in Spanish. And then once I complete my undergrad, which shouldn't take too long because all my dual credit, I plan to apply for PT school, which is extremely competitive. About 40 get in and 1,000 apply. So I plan on getting into PT school and then owning my own business. But all of this has really been an amazing experience. And once again, thank you everyone along the way. And I cannot wait to start at MSU this fall. Thank you.